few black brothers here.
You don't see outside
that will go and stand with Ali Darwa and that, instead of coming to chat to me as their black brother and say what's going on and have a man bust jokes about, we brought Issa out because he's our black friend and be putting me down.
He's a token. He's a token.
Yeah, he is a token.
No one mentions a white man. You can stand next to a European man.
In a mosque,
and we all stand.
I've got a Muslim brother that told me when he went to a mosque, people didn't want to touch their feet next to his.
Thank you. They know how to do dawah to the black people that are looking for identity. They know how to go into prisons and do dawah to black people now that are searching for God and get them to hate the white man who got them to stab some person because they didn't have no opportunities in life.
One second, let me ask you.
He told him to go.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I want to work.
Let me ask you a question.
He gave him freedom.
Listen, he gave him freedom. So, what's the opposite of freedom? Bondage. So they were in bondage then. This. The reason I'm not in position
I just want your opinion on it.
I'm not a Muslim.
I just want your opinion on it.
Cool. Yeah.
When we see white,
just want your opinion on it.
White is horrible to us.
Now,
when a dead person dies in Islam, we wrap it up in white linen. When you see that, we get scared. That's white. Kaaba is covered in black. It is a beautiful place. So stop interpreting stuff with your own mind. While black
I'm reading hadith. I'm reading hadith, and he's telling me I'm interpreting stuff. I haven't interpreted anything. I'm just reading hadith.
That's not
and it upsets you.
Lying.
Prove to me I'm lying.
When we look,
right, no proof. And this is the thing. This is the thing. Why are you going to defend something? Tell me.
We're all scared because we don't want
to
see white wrapped up.
Tell me, right, that Islam treats black people with the same fairness. With the same fairness it treats Arab Muslims.
Did Muhammad have white armpits?
Why are black Muslims coming from mosques with stories of being treated like second-class Muslims? Why?
I'll try it, but
because even when they convert to Islam, they are seen as abid and slaves. Even when they convert. Oh yes, you're a brother because you're a Muslim, but you're still abid. You're a slave. You're a slave and you're nothing better than a slave. Now, this is my own personal opinion and what I've heard, but I'm reading you Islamic sources.
I ain't
make your own mind up.
Nothing for no one. I'm not defending anyone. I'm not speaking up for no one. Like if anyone wants to come and defend their faith, they can do that. Do you know what I mean? Feel welcome. You lot are all here. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You always question Muslims.
You know? I'm just listening. Okay.
Yeah. They don't mix.
Of course they don't mix.
But if you go to a mosque, you can stand next to a black man. You can stand next to a white man. You can stand next to a European man.
In a mosque,
and we all stand.
I've got a Muslim brother that told me when he went to a mosque, people didn't want to touch their feet next to his.
Thank you.
So there's different sides. Brother, let me speak, bro.
I do it myself.
Let me speak, bro. Please, yeah. There's different.
Let him speak. Let him speak. Go on.
What I'm saying is, this brother just made an example about the white and black church. No one defended that. Even though I went to church as a youngster and I stood with white and black people. Yeah, and I know people in America that stand with white and black people. So I don't think what you said was entirely accurate. I'm just trying to give the balance. I'm not saying that who's racist, who's not. I'm not involved.
We don't have a black and white.
I'm not involved. I would say black people, yeah, you need to start concentrating on liberating yourself.
Right, exactly.
Whoever your sky daddy is, one second.
Stop being a Christian.
One second.
Exactly.
Whoever your sky daddy is, that's your sky daddy. That's your business.
Your colour should be relevant.
Your position and your standing on earth, yeah, is what you need to be really focusing on, yeah. Your kids and your legacy. So right about now, the black man is in danger. The black woman is in danger. Disrespected by most people. Yeah. There's Arabs, there's whites, there's Chinese, there's other blacks, there's Caribbeans that hate Africans, there's Africans that hate. There's so much of it. Yeah. So for me, I would say, instead of arguing about religion, we need to argue about our standing on earth and try to advance.
No, you have to look at the sources.
So
you have to look at the
Muslim.
Look, listen.
And I'm in the middle, and I'm like, yo, none of you lot are gonna make me free.
No, bro, I disagree. Because it'd be different. We can all have our opinions, but I'm talking about literature. I'm talking about teachings. When you have teachings that are teaching people this stuff, then you have to question it and attack that teaching. You can have your opinion about the way black people should operate in society, and I'm down with that.
That's what's more
right?
important
But
to
when
me.
you go to the literature, you have to burn that literature because that's only propagating the racism. Now I'm going to read other stuff. Now I've already read your hadiths. I'm going to read you what scholars of Islam have said through the centuries, from the 7th century all the way through to the 15th century, when the Ottoman Empire was on shaky ground, so the scholars had to go underground. They couldn't write what they were writing anymore. Okay. Now you have Ibn Khaldun.
No, guys, please, brothers, yeah. I know like passions are high and that, but I would like this to like sound good when we listen back to it. Please, if you don't mind.
Just want you to hear the stuff, right? Now and give me your own opinion on it. Now you have, right? I'm just going to read through all of them, right? Now, let me finish reading all of them. There's about 4 or 5 here, and then
We have a conversation.
you have the conversation about it.
Can I ask you one question? Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, go on.
What are you talking about now? Do you believe that this is Islam, or do you believe this is cultural?
Culturally. So Islam is both political and religious, right? You can't separate them, right? Now, let me read the scholars. Let me read what the scholars say. Ibn Khaldun, 13th century. He was an Islamic jurist, Islamic lawyer, an Islamic scholar and a theologian. Therefore, the Negro nation are, as a rule, submissive to slavery, because Negroes have little that is essentially human, and have attributes that are quite similar to those of dumb animals, as we have stated. Now, this is all being written when Islam is now subjugating African people, because they're coming into contact with Africans, living their own life by the land. And Arabs are now writing about black people in Africa. Right?
You said opinion.
Let me finish reading what I'm reading, and then we can come with opinion. Right? Ibn Khaldun, Muqaddimah, 14th century, beyond. So you know this guy.
Yeah, the beginning.
Beyond known peoples of black West Africa.
What did you say?
8 new rappers came to Islam last week. Sorry.
Beyond known peoples.
Who? What are you telling me because he's black?
Let me finish reading. Okay, I'll talk to you about that, Simon.
Beyond known peoples of black West Africa to the south, there is no civilization in the proper sense. There are only humans who are closer to dumb animals than to rational beings. They live in thickets and caves and eat herbs and unprepared grain. We're living off the land here.
What black people live? What black people live in caves?
Right? They frequently eat each other. They're talking about cannibalism now, of course. They cannot be considered human beings.
But you didn't say where he got his source from.
Okay, you can check all this. You can check all this stuff out.
Afterwards,
you can check all this stuff out.
Don't need to defend it.
Right? Ibn Sina or Avicenna, 980 to 1037, was, among other things, a Hafiz,
You know why I love this?
Islamic psychologist,
This is good. You done me a favor, thank you.
Islamic scholar, and Islamic theologian. Blacks are people who are, by their very nature, slaves. Right? Ibn Qutaba, 828 to 889, was a renowned Islamic scholar from Kufa, Iraq. Blacks are ugly and misshapen because they live in a hot country. Ibn Qutaba, again, 828 to 889.
The sources, G. Where did you find these quotes from?
Well, you can check them out. You can check them out.
Where do we check them out?
You can check them out. Of course, they're going to be weak hadith.
Can we finish?
They're going to be weak hadith.
Can we finish this, please?
It's going to be daif. Islam is daif.
Can we finish this? I don't
No.
want to hear from you, man, bro, to be honest. I don't want to hear from you, man. I got my own opinion about you.
Now,
and black people and Islam.
Nasir
So
al-Din
please, be quiet.
al-Tusi,
Nah, these two here, man, I got my own
1201,
opinion about them, bro.
1201,
Let's go.
1201
I know.
to 1274.
Vocal, guys.
If anybody
I'm not
wants to
hearing it,
take snapshots of these sources
Yeah.
I've read, they're welcome to do so. Take them away, come back and refute me. Right? If all types of men are taken from the first and one placed after another, like the Negro from Zanzibar in the southernmost countries, the Negro does not differ from an animal in anything except the fact that his hands have been lifted from the earth. in no other peculiarity or property except for what God has wished. Many have seen that the ape is more capable of being trained than a Negro and more intelligent.
Are we still in Ibn Khaldun?
Nasir al-Din al-Tusi Tasawarat.
When was that written?
You heard of this guy, right? You know who this is.
The Tutsi.
Tusi Tasawarat.
Yeah,
You know this. The Zanj, which is the Africans, differ from animals in that their two hands are lifted above the ground. Many have observed that the ape is more teachable. I think I've read that. Al-Masudi 896 to 956 was a Muslim historian.
Are these that he's reading or
This
just
is all scholars. These are Muslim scholars.
Cool.
Through the centuries.
Scholars?
These are all scholars.
Scholars?
Through the centuries. All scholars through the
That's what
centuries.
the Tutsi was a geography.
Okay. Now this is Al-Masudi, and he's an historian, a geographer,
So they're not Islamic.
known as the. Of course, he's going to separate himself from Islam. Now. They're not Muslims.
They're Muslims, they're not Islam.
That's what he's saying. Of course they are Muslims. They're Muslims.
When was that written?
Learned people.
1300.
Right?
But
He
everything,
was a
everyone
Muslim
wants to
historian
respond,
and
refute, whatever, they're
geographer known as the Herodotus of the Arabs. Galen says that the merriment dominates the black man because of his defective brain, whence also the weakness of his intelligence. Al-Masudi Marouch al-Darab, a man of discernment, said the people of Iraq do not come out with something between blonde, buff, blanched colouring, such as the infants dropped from the wombs of the woman of the Slavs and other similar light complexion, nor are they overdone in the womb. Until they have been burned, so that the child comes out something between black, murky, malodorous, stinking, crinkly-haired, with uneven limbs, deficient mind, depraved passions such as the Zanj, the Somali, and other blacks who resemble them. The Iraqis are neither half-baked dough nor burnt crust, but between the two. Those are the scholars. Now, I've got another page full of scholars, more or less repeating the same thing here. Now, I've read you Hadith, I've read you Sirah of Ibn Ishaq, and I've read you scholars writing from the 7th century all the way through to the 13th or 14th century. Now, like I said, it'd be different if you just had hearsay, if you just had something in society where you had to blot out, something hidden, but you haven't accepted the great bunch of literature written by scholars, written by Muhammad, and written by the biographer of Muhammad, propagating the degradation of black people.
How can it be biographer of Muhammad?
All the way through the centuries. Why are black people Muslims?
Okay, so from my point of view,
I
I do think that you have some good points. I do think that there's a lot of negativity in a lot of religious books when it comes to denoting black people. That might be because of who's behind writing it or who's influenced in it, I personally would call all people to look at religion, all black people especially, to look at religion and find whether it enhances their lifestyles. And if it does and it works for you, then fair enough. If it doesn't work for the wider community, then you might want to consider changing your religion or moving away from religion, whatever suits you. I was raised as a Christian, and I come to find out that when I look at early Christian writings and some of the people that spearheaded some of the belief systems that we have now, known as modern day Christianity, there's more than enough racism for me to be satisfied that they're racist too. Would you agree with that?
Sorry, repeat the ending again.
Would you agree that looking in Christianity, at some of the historians, some of the writings, and some of the people that have claimed to have represented, maybe falsely, maybe correctly,
based on colour,
they have displayed racist views? Do you believe
written
that?
about it based on colour?
Yeah.
Can you show me anybody got any evidence of any?
I just want to know.
Oh, okay. Anybody got any?
Have you the Quran itself?
No. I'm talking.
Yes, the Quran. It's all over the Quran. I know that.
Listen. The point I'm trying to say to you is this.
You see what I'm talking about? Because it's a fallacious argument you're talking about.
It's not a fallacious argument. Because we can just talk about the good ship Jesus that took slaves across the sea.
Do you want to talk about that?
No, we could talk about the standardized slave Bible.
Standardized slave Bible.
That that was used by slave masters to convert slaves
about
to
that.
Christianity.
Talk about
What
that.
I'm saying
I've
to you-
already said that there was false conversion.
So this is what
But it's not in
let me
not in
finish.
Christian
no,
literature.
bro, you spoke a lot.
It's
You
not-
spoke a lot. You spoke
Go
a
on,
lot.
go on.
Yeah, you
read it to him,
like
so
anybody.
you-
1 second, bro. Anybody that and I don't want it to be a thing
No,
of
no,
I'm
go on,
just-
go on,
I'm
go on.
deflecting
I'm
to
listening, I'm
Christianity.
listening.
I'm saying from me, as a holistic view, when I look at religion, I can see a lot of the people that did early writings.
Yeah.
Even down to Gandhi. Yeah, a lot of people that spoke early about black people seem to have racist views. Yeah, that's a fact across the board. Yeah. Now that does not necessarily mean that I'm going to say Christianity is racist. Doesn't mean I'm going to say Islam is racist. And whether it is or not, what I'm asking people to do is come to their own conclusions, use their own minds, but please don't think that religion is the only way for you to go and the only way for you to get peace in life or freedom. That's me personally, yeah? Everyone else has their own opinion. Now, another thing I want to talk about is why I thought this was... 1 second, please, man, let me speak. Let me speak. Let me speak.
That hasn't
Let me
finished
speak.
yet.
Let me speak. You can go back to anything I said.
Yeah, go on.
Another thing I want to speak about is why this is so poetically justifying for me, yeah, to have you here standing here and to have me here, and I want to ask people at home that have accused me of being an Islamophobe. Do you see a difference between our stances? Do you see a difference between a critical thinker, a man with an open mind, a man that's not afraid to challenge and ask hard questions, and somebody that has a negative view of what you believe? Yeah, because this is what we need to differentiate. The reason why I'm saying this is this. Yeah, 2 days ago I was talking with my mate. Yeah, and there was a group of like 4 or 5 guys walking down the road. I was chatting with my mate. They took a couple steps. One of the guys looked at me, went to his bedroom, and they all turned back. So as they turned back and they came to me, I came out. Yeah, and I was like, what's good? Man was like, oh yeah, oh you're Jedi, innit? I said, yeah. What, Speaker's Corner? Yeah. Oh, I heard you're an Islamophobe. Oh yeah, I see you red. And it's like they wanna do something, but I was in a situation for me to defend myself very well. And we're not in Speaker's Corner. I'm a different person. I just want to let people know, innit? Yeah. This is why religion. I've been turned off religion so badly by coming to Speaker's Corner, yeah? By dealing with Muslims, and dealing with Christians, and dealing with this man and that man. They have put me off religion. Individuals, don't come back to individuals, yeah? Not necessarily the books. I've not even had the chance to read through any of these stuff, yeah? It's not the books. The people, yeah? You yourselves are responsible for turning people away from religions, yeah? Me, I'm an open-minded person. Yeah. I was sympathetic. I don't want to hear. I get so bored when I hear a man talking about religion. I was the #1 Islamic supporter, apparently. Yeah, I had racist DFLA guys, yeah, pulling up in cars, saying you fucking muzzy lover. I've been through it all outside of the park, and still at the same time, I've suffered some of the worst. What would you say? Bias and disgusting treatment from the same Muslims. And then I've got men say, see, we told you the Muslims to turn on you. Yeah? Same way, I've had bad treatment from Christians in society. People that have a Bible in one hand and have hate in the other hand, prejudice in the other hand. So as far as I'm concerned, as a majority, yeah, most of you are doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Any Christians here?
Hold on.
I've been giving you hatred.
Hold on.
Any Christians here that have been giving you hatred?
No, but you know what? Yeah, let me be perfectly honest. Yeah, I can't really think of one Christian that has given me hatred in this part.
What about Muslims?
Yeah, there's loads. Here
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Because for whatever reason, they seem to believe that man is against their religion because a man thinks he can diss me, and I told him about his mum and rare. Like I got these 2 brothers here. I got these 2 brothers here. These 2 black brothers here.
You don't see outside
that will go and stand with Ali Darwa and that instead of coming to chat to me as their black brother and say what's going on and have a man bust jokes about we brought Issa out because he's our black friend and be putting me down.
He's a token. He's a token.
Yeah, he is a
Muslim.
token. Let me finish. He's a token.
He put you in front of that salam.
You are a token. You are a token. Fortunately for me, I've got Muslim friends.
When he sees that you're not saying what you should say, he moves away and probably says something to you so you can say the right thing in front of the camera.
If it was down to my man, I might end up like Cain.
I want you to understand now,
what's going on
you're
here?
a tool for Islam.
I'm an open thinker. So when you talk about God,
when a mufti came here,
don't cut me. I was making a statement. Yeah, I do agree with you. If you say Isa was a token. Now Isa's a good guy. Yeah, I've had conversations with Isa where I've invited him to so-called pro-black movements in the park where we said, yo, come, let's discuss our blackness and issues surrounding it. And he's told me that he loves it. I know. He told me he loves it, but he can't because some of his Muslim brothers are going to criticize him and give him a hard time because they've told him not to come. He didn't have the strength that he has now. Over the years, I've seen him grow up to be a fine young man, yeah, outspoken and strong. But he used his outspokenness against me, yeah, to support some other guys, yeah? And I believe that their intention is actually racist behind it. They even made the joke because it was so obvious. Oh, he's my only black friend. You went online, and let me tell you something, yeah? When you went online, the funny thing, these five guys, these 5 guys that approached me yesterday, guess what they'd watched? Even your black brethren, Isa. This is exactly what they said. I didn't want to speak. I wasn't even going to speak it up. The other day I was online. I was so mad, but I was like, you know, I'm not going to say. Even your black brother said that you came for issues. You came with the intention to antagonize and for issues. Yeah. And a couple of days after that, after he was on the salam thing, me and him sitting on a table at a wedding, and he's not saying nothing. This gives me a bad impression of certain man because I'm like, what is it that's making you act like this? Is it your brothers? Is it the religion? Is it what? We have to understand how you lot have to understand how you lot, yeah, make me look at religion as somebody that's unbiased. Now we have someone that's like Cain, who is to this side, to the extreme. Look at yourselves and think, have any of you, or do any of you in the wider community...
I'm against anything prejudice.
Do any of you in the wider community...
If I spot prejudice in it, I don't care what it is.
Please, do any of you do anything to promote the view that he has? Just like we look at the Tommy Robinson supporters. Is there anything that you lot are doing to promote them? If there is anything, if you give them...
Anytime soon,
yes, I am. But I don't like this timer thing because I'll just talk
No.
Please respect me, Cain. Please respect me, Cain, because I'm not an idiot. I didn't come here just to chat to you, bro. I didn't come here to chat to you. You want to speak to me? You spoke for ages, and I was on point.
Go on, I'm listening.
Manners and everything. I'm listening. So I've been working on my manners, just to not give anyone any excuses to chat shit.
Go on, I'm listening.
Boom. Anyway, all I'm saying to you is this, yeah. Please be aware of what you do in your lives day to day, yeah, that gives people like this the energy. When he first approached me, he was completely...
People like this.
Yeah, your viewpoint. You're my brother.
Right,
You're my brother. Yeah?
When
you first came, yeah, and you spoke to me, you said, Jedi, I want to speak to you about being a mule of Islam, about doing dawah.
Direct.
Direct and straight to me. And I said, you're false, you're wrong, rare. And it was so absurd. As he's gone on, people around have actually strengthened his case. Yeah, and I just want people to be aware of that, innit, yeah? Please be aware of what you are doing. Religion to me is no interest. I didn't come here to talk about religion. I come here to help some of the brothers like get their platform up, the Rasta circle, and then I was going to keep it moving. I'm not interested in this, in all of this. Left, right, up, down. I got my own issues going on in my life. I don't care, bro.
I want people to be aware.
Let me say something.
I just want to say one thing, right? There was a mufti that came here last year. Munir. Everybody remember him? You remember him? Yeah. See him smiling. No, he remembers him, and I remember him. Isa. I remember. He's not Muslim. He's not Mufti. He's a Mufti scholar, right? And if you go on the internet, you're strengthening my case. If you go on the internet, you will find that he's a scholar. He was invited over here as a black scholar. And I watched with disgust as Ali Dawa and the Sheikh shuffled him, right, away from a conversation with Asif.
This is the point I'm making.
Let him come and defend.
Get down on the camera. This is the point I'm making.
See, let him come and defend.
This is the point I'm making.
Right? Now,
no.
I don't care about that. You can see what's happening. Now the situation was this black man, right? I could see in his heart that you get a lot of Muslims who just love God. A black man had found God in the religion that he thought, you know what, this is for me. And he loved the deen, he loved God. Yeah. You get a lot of black people that ring up Christian Prince and they hate the fact that he's attacking Islam because they love God. They can't understand why he's doing it. They can't understand why he's doing it. So you have a mufti come here with that kind of a genuine love for God. And he spoke to a Christian, and this Christian asked him a direct question. You could see the sincerity in this mufti. And when Asif asked him a question, Ali Dawa was standing here the sheikh was standing behind him, listening. You're a black man, you're a mufti, you're a scholar, you know more than us, but we're going to tell you what to do. As soon as Asif asked him that question, they shuffled him away. Everyone can see on camera what happened.
How do you know it's a mufti?
Everyone
How do you
can
know
see.
it's a mufti? Trying to listen a little bit
Look
more
up the
than just
internet. Look
shouting.
up the internet.
Yeah.
Munir.
Yeah.
Last year,
You said there's a scholar.
a
You
slim
called Shamsi's
black
a scholar.
scholar,
Shamsi's not a
mufti,
scholar.
came here.
Big up
Shamsi
Shamsi,
said
big
he's a
up
scholar.
Shamsi, big
All
up
right?
Shamsi.
Shamsi's not a
Shamsi
scholar.
is
You're
another
not
liar. That's
Who's
why
your
he runs
scholars?
from
Your
me.
scholars.
Shamsi is another liar who always runs from me.
Never runs
Big
from
up
you.
Shamsi.
He runs from me all the time. He runs from me all the time. All I do is read his hadiths and he runs.
Yeah, big up Shamsi because you
All I
always
do is
destroy
read
He's
it.
a good guy, man.
Right?
Shamsi's a
No,
good
he
guy.
lies to you, and maybe you
Shamsi's a
confirm.
good guy, man. I don't care, man.
Maybe now you're confirming what I said initially.
I like Shamsi.
Because now you're
As a
believing
person.
what he's saying to
If
you.
he likes a
Because
person,
I know
he's confirming.
personally.
Did you hear me say big up Shamsi is a good guy? You're saying I believed what
No,
he said to me.
why is he a good guy?
Because I like him. He's got good
Okay,
manners.
let's-
He's got
okay,
good manners and a good personality.
That's because the Deen of
respect
Islam
people.
says to you, right, that you should go and smile to somebody. Now to a Muslim, right, you're a dirty kafir. I want you to understand this.
I understand.
No,
this.
no,
I
no.
understand. I am.
So
Yeah,
if
I
a
am.
Muslim,
No, no,
if a Muslim knows his
dirty,
Deen,
that's extra.
if a Muslim,
the dirty is extra. Kafir, yeah.
but
I've been
kafir-
you're a
called.
filthy
I've been
kafir.
called.
No, it's not filthy,
Hold
you're
on,
adding
hold
on.
on, hold on. I've been
You're a
called. I've
filthy
been
kafir.
called.
Why are you
If
calling me
he's
filthy?
smiling and joking with you, I want you to understand that he
You
knows
insulting
his
the guy
Deen.
now.
He knows his Deen,
not lying.
I'm a
and
smart
he
guy, I
knows
know what
that
I'm
while
doing.
while Islam is weak, they are
gotta be
commanded
balanced. You gotta
to
be
smile in your
balanced.
face
You're
and
weak.
hate you in the heart in order to do
balanced.
dawah
Be
and
balanced.
draw you into
He's
Islam.
weak.
balanced.
He can't preach
Right?
about his religion.
Don't let your
You
ego-
attack
don't
Islam.
let your
Now,
ego-
I can
You
read your
have to
hadith.
forget.
Don't let your
You
ego-
have to challenge
don't let
me.
your
You
ego
said
make
that
you-
was get,
make
because
you
we
biased.
could-
Yeah?
Now-
Don't let your ego make
The
you
only
biased.
point I'm trying to make
We
is
should all shout.
why
Be honest.
are
This
black
guy's a
people
liar.
Follow your heart.
following this religion?
your
I'll
mind.
tell you
Follow
why.
your heart,
I'll
yeah?
tell you why. I'll
Why?
tell you why. I'll tell you
Listen,
why.
We're
I'll
all
tell
giving-
you
we're all
cursed
giving
in the
conscience.
Bible.
Yeah?
Why don't you talk about that?
This is not religion.
Explain that.
Is this what you like?
Why
you
don't you
want?
talk about
Is this what you want for
Come
yourself?
on, Kate. Let's
man.
talk about your
I don't want
religion
none
now.
of this.
Let's talk about your religion
I
now.
don't
I
want
want to
none
know
of
to my
this.
question.
I don't want any of
to my
this.
question.
This is not for me.
Why are black people
Let's find
following
This is not for me.
a man that was obviously racist, that had propagated his scholars to write against black people for centuries, that now still black people are denigrated on Arab comedy shows, even today, where Arabs paint their faces black to denigrate Somali people and Sudanese people.
This guy likes to
Today,
shout.
in
He
the
does a
21st
shouting
century,
competition. We can all
if
shout.
this was happening in this country, there'd be uproar.
You're not making sense.
But in an Arab
You're a hate
country, it's
preacher.
acceptable.
Yeah.
It's acceptable because it's a black person, and black people are looked down on.
Yeah.
When you become a Muslim as a black person, yes, you're a brother, but like I said before, how are you
Anyone in
treated?
Islam
You're treated
that
like
is
a
not Muslim is a
second-class
kafir.
citizen
Why
and a tool of Islam.
Why are we
That's what
talking
it
in
means.
generals though? Why we hold on one second? Why are we being so general? Because it can't be. It's not everybody, innit?
No. He likes to
No, I'm
generalize
talking about the
everybody.
Deen of Islam.
No.
And the ones who are orthodox, the Muslims who are orthodox, who know the
He got
Deen,
Cain last
who
week,
propagate their Deen, know about this and they advance it.
Know
They
about
know how to
what?
come to a man like you, or somebody that's maybe hasn't hooked
You're
himself
lying.
up to any religion
I have so
and do
many.
dawah
I
to
have
you.
so many.
Because they know
Christians and
they
not
know
believers.
how to do
I
dawah to
still
you.
call them brothers.
They know how
I
to do
leave them
dawah
at
to
the
the black people
I
that are
don't
looking for
have to
identity. They know how to go into prisons and do dawah to black people now that are searching for God and get them to hate the white man who got them to stab some person because they didn't have no opportunities in life, and get them to do shahada and go and
You're a hate preacher.
get them to do shahada in the prison cell and then go and
Because
beat
you
up
can't
somebody
convert
who's
anyone.
doing a drink in Ramadan in another cell.
Yeah. Listen.
Facts.
Does that happen?
What's that?
Facts.
Fact what? What's fact? What's fact?
Black
You've
people,
been lying.
stop being
you guys,
puppets
you
of
guys.
Islam.
You
Black
guys.
people, stop being puppets of Islam.
White man's religion. This guy, no, he's shouting. We can compete.
White man's religion.
He's white
He's
man's
not
religion.
refuting. He's not refuting
No,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
He's just calling it a
Who
white
gave
man's
you
religion.
Christianity?
And the black people
Who
that are
gave you
ignorant,
Christianity?
listen to that narrative.
Who gave you
I've heard it
Christianity?
before. It's true.
Yeah. Who gave you Christianity?
This is his point though.
Refute
Who
what I'm
gave
saying.
you-
I will.
Refute
gave you
what I'm
Christianity?
saying.
Who gave you Christianity?
I've read you a whole list of scholars, hadith and seerah denigrating black people. Now can somebody...
guys, can we have a
Right, okay, I want to ask one question. And then I'll give way. I'll give way. I just want an Islamic source, an Islamic scholar, an Islamic writing, an Islamic hadith. Talking good about black people.
I will.
Can I just say one thing?
Talking good about black people.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
And then I'll walk away.
One second.
No, you can't walk away. Talk about sons of Ham in the Bible.
Listen,
Why
if you're sick of hearing religious people, shouting and screaming all up in the videos, come to death row. This is too much now. Man them, listen, stop the gang warfare thing. One second, bro, please.
You can carry on. I'm just here to speak what's going on.
You're misconstruing what's going on, brother.
I'm not gonna
I am head on attacking the racism.
Cain asked the question.
And black people are becoming pseudo-Nazis by following the cult of Islam. Black people are going around wearing jack boots. Right? Just because they're looking for identity.
This guy thinks he's right by raising his voice.
Let's
talk about sons of Ham before you run away.
This is where I'm coming from.
Before you run away,
what you do for
let's talk about sons of Ham.
What you do for young little black kids?
I just want one Islamic source. One Islamic source.
What are you doing?
I've got it. What you do for young black kids in gangs?
1 second,
What you do with kids on life camp?
1 second, 1 second, brother. I'll speak to you. While I'm going to speak to this guy, brother, wait a second, wait. I'm going to speak to you, brother.
I've given you your own medicine, you don't like it.
Brother, no, I'm listening to you. I'm going to engage. You're not listening.
No,
you're not engaging. You're not engaging. People are engaging what I'm saying. I'm willing to listen. Are you going to listen to me?
Hold on.
Are
you not doing a campaign for atheists or something? Are you trying to put everyone off religion?
Don't worry about it.
Come on, guys.
That's why people live in Christianity.
Brother, you have no one to blame except yourself when you stand before Jesus.
Lead with example.
You can't blame anybody else.
Lead with example.
Now, I will engage with what you're saying, brother. Right? Now, meanwhile, I speak to this brother here. Remember what I've asked for.
I've got it here.
And I would like to see some good literature about black people from Islam. That's all I want to see. Now, what are you saying?
I don't want to chat. No, I don't want to chat. You had your opportunity to chat before you went and sat with Ali Dawa. Get out of here, man. Stop the black clock crying, man. You can talk about
Let me listen to what his brother
Go back to Ali Dawa. Salam, brother. Salam, brother. Go back to Ali Dawa's round table, man. Stop the black clock crying, man.
He already he's crying. See what I mean? You've been fed and he's coming to you now. He's been fed and he's coming to you now. This is exactly what I mean. Black people. Dawa mules. What's wrong with you? Use your own brain. You've been on subjugation for so many years, hundreds of years. And now you're following some fake cult getting you to hate white people. What's wrong with you?
Yo.
Think for yourself. Think for yourself.
Calm down. Everyone calm down. God doesn't need all this anger. God doesn't need you not to be this angry. He doesn't need.
He wants to ask me a question. Let me listen to what his brother saying.
Don't let your egos lead you over here, man.
Let's talk what his brother saying.
This guy's a
Brother. Let me listen to what his brother saying.
Man's dying.
Religion aside, Jedi, 1 second, Jedi.
For him, it's like
Listen, I want to say something, yeah?
That's the devil.
If you're
And then it's
talking about black
between two
Christians,
people,
talking about black
conversation,
Christians,
third one is the devil.
put religion to aside.
to the-
What are you
let me
doing
hear
about
what
knife
the man
crime?
said.
What are you doing about knife crime right now? What are you yourself doing about knife crime? How are you interviewing right now?
What's any of these religions doing about knife crime?
Right, now I'll
What's
tell
any
you.
of you lot doing?
A lot,
You lot tell me.
Now hold on.
You both tell me what you lot doing.
Cain
Don't
asked.
tell me about hood.
Cain
Don't tell me about
asked.
hood.
In
Okay, I don't
Islamic
want to hear about
laws,
hood.
where treats black people equal.
This is all intertwined.
Bruh, come on,
you
man.
listening?
Come on, man.
Are you just gonna pump it out and you don't want an answer?
Don't tell me about hood,
That was
though.
shade, though.
It was shade.
I didn't mention. What was that shade? Why?
Don't tell me
Why?
what's
That's
happening.
Tell me what you guys are doing.
I don't know.
Talk to me.
Have you found it?
Put aside. One, I don't understand this shade.
There's no shade at you.
Oh, no, shade.
And
That's
itself.
you. Are you in hood?
Read it.
So what's the
Let's see what this is.
Because it's a Muslim. It's a Muslim.
What they
Read it.
It is.
There's no Muslims
don't
in
just
it.
directly do what you want.
There's no Muslims in it.
I'm not happy.
I stand correct.
I'm not happy.
Stop using that weak card.
I was going to speak to you, right? And I was engaging with you. I'm going to read it.
Can someone go first? Can someone go first and the other one talk next?
Look,
So we can get some. Can
and
someone
the
go first?
mind you signs in his sleep that you take night and day.
What's this, bro?
By the
What's this?
day.
What's this?
And
Yeah.
no biography, no rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
And make for your
biography, no
livelihood.
rubbish.
Out of
Hadith
his
is rubbish.
videos.
Boss, please,
Do you
I beg
understand?
you, listen.
No, the rubbish that you
Quran
come
is
up with.
first source. Quran is
Rubbish that
first
you
source.
come up with. Okay? Verily. Let me start all over.
I'm a very bad. I'm the worst you. I'm the worst you. A man have to know that. Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Don't let them wind you up and see you go.
I'm not
That's
wound.
my whole point, bro.
You're gonna tell me don't get wound up. You've been screaming the whole time, Cain.
But that's my thing. You know that's my thing.
I know it's your
and
thing.
if I was gonna fight, I would have fought somebody
Yeah,
already
cool, but
in this park
I'm
in a
not
year and a
wound up.
half.
I'm not wound up.
Know that.
Yeah, I'm not wound up.
Read, let me hear what he's saying. Let me hear what he's saying.
What are you doing about knife crime?
Let me hear what he's saying.
Wait.
Yeah, they're reading like the Quran.
He's got something good about black people here from Islam, and I'd like to hear it.
Islam or what?
Everybody equal. Yeah,
He's reading from the Quran.
yeah, it says black. It does say black. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does.
Man, focus on
Yes,
this.
it does. It does.
Derogatory and
Yeah, open it
COE.
up.
It doesn't say that. Okay? The Quran says, and among you his
He's alright.
signs,
He's man in the camera. He's
his
right.
signs in the creation of the heavens and the earth.
Yeah.
And
And the variations in your languages.
in your languages
and your
colours.
colours.
Verily, in that there are signs
For those who know. So what does that mean to you?
Right
Explain
now,
that to me.
let me
Give me your
explain to you.
interpretation now.
please.
Let me.
Okay, let him talk now.
Yeah, explain it now to me,
Please.
please.
What's their reference?
Right now, yeah, read
Reference
the
is
reference.
chapter 30, verse 22.
Now, this is what I want people to. I want people to understand.
Yeah, go on, explain.
There are few verses in the Quran.
Nah, he needed that. He needed that, bro. He needed that.
There are few verses in the Quran that speak of a oneness through color. Now, Muhammad.
So what is the difference?
Are you going to listen to my answer?
What are you talking about?
Do you want to? You don't. You don't want to.
Quran.
He knows I know. He knows I know.
Yeah, but let him respond. If it's not good,
And this is proving my point.
Your point is nothing. You're a
There you
liar.
go. There you go. There you go.
Come on, bro.
No worries.
Manners. What's
I
it?
asked him to interpret it.
Manners. Let's
Explain
have
that.
manners with each
Go
other.
somewhere else.
Let's avoid
No,
insults.
we all.
I am educating people who may not know
can't educate
the
no one.
directive of Muhammad in writing this verse.
For you to educate people about Islam,
Yeah, but
You're not educated.
you're a learned man.
Ego, man.
Yeah,
Too
but
much ego.
you want to have a
I
simple
want some
conversation.
information.
He's asked me to comment.
I asked you about
He
this.
asked me to comment.
If it's
Comment on
not
this.
good,
That's
then
what I'm going to comment on.
Fair point. Let him respond.
I said there are many verses like this in the Quran, and this is what the fodder is that gets black people to join. Because black people, they go, hold on a minute, there's all these hadiths about raising head and this, and then you have people like Shamsi, the Orthodox Muslims, who run to a verse like this to show you how it's inclusive of all colours.
Tribes, nations,
Right?
colours.
Now I want you to understand something. Right? Muhammad, right, was a politician. He was going to write whatever attracted people into the deen.
Okay.
Right? He was going to write whatever attracted people into the deen. Now, remember, all the scholars are writing derogatorily about black people.
Source. You asked for a
But
source.
Muhammad is now, Muhammad is now saying, don't worry about that.
You run faster than him.
Look what Allah says. Look what Allah says. Look what Allah says.
most important.
Come and join Islam.
That's our creator.
You see now,
That's our
the
creator.
black man run over to Ali Dawa. Look what Allah says. Look what Allah says. Right?
I definitely
Look what Allah
can't do
says.
this.
Right? And this is how black people get
Can't even answer
duped.
to this. You guys
Now,
like
once
yourself
they
hope.
join Islam,
This is someone running
once they
fast.
join Islam, they realize when they go into a mosque how they're treated.
But that's got nothing to. You asked for
They
a source.
realize that when they look into the history of Islam and the modern slavery of Islam, which is mostly directed towards black Ghanaian and Sudanese people.
How are black people
Today, if you go to Libya, you can buy black slaves. Today, if you go to Egypt, you can buy black slaves.
Can I ask you a question?
Right? Today.
Cain, let me ask you, yeah? Because wait, is that a Libyan problem? Is it a political problem, or is it a religious problem? Or
It's
is
a
it all of
religious
them?
problem because slavery is part of Islam. Scholars say it's in the hadith.
Muhammad had a slave.
Yeah, no, listen, it's in the Quran. It's in the Quran as well.
Come on, let's be. I told you
Slavery is a part of the deen of Islam. And scholars say if anybody comes against it, they are stupid.
The Jedi say we said.
Bro, listen.
listening.
Like I said, yeah, we just want to be honest, yeah.
listening.
We didn't deny earlier that Muhammad he traded them, yeah. He traded the two slaves for the one slave, yeah. The two black slaves for the white slave, yeah. Now I'm asking question. Did Prophet Muhammad have own slaves?
Had servants.
Where is there a difference? Okay, so it was a servant and not a
Has got a
slave.
wife.
Slave, bro.
Has
Not
rights.
a slave.
Not the slave. The
Don't let him nice it up to you.
Nothing.
Wait,
Sugarcoat it to you. Slave.
Wait,
That means if he tells you to do something, you got to do it. Slave.
Cain, it's just not the type of slaves that we associate with the African American slaves that were brought from.
What kind of slave is it then, bro?
Servants, they had rights, they could marry.
Did they have a
Those
choice?
slaves could marry though.
Did they have a choice?
Slave the transatlantic.
There you go.
Transatlantic.
Thank you.
1 second.
Could those slaves be raped?
Cain, 1 minute.
Transatlantic slave trade. Those slaves could marry. I'm just saying they could marry.
Okay, but I'm saying these servants had much more rights than the slaves.
Let's compare the rights.
Like,
I want to hear that. No one's gonna just tell me something. Just compare that. I want to know.
Black chiefs throughout West Africa, rich chiefs of their tribe had slaves and servants.
Is that right?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying.
So
it's
now,
right.
are you saying slave is wrong? Are you saying slave is wrong? Are you saying slave is wrong? Hold on. So therefore, Islam is wrong because slavery is propagated in the Quran.
Hold on. Is there anybody here that thinks that they can condone slavery by saying that, but they were allowed to get married?
Thank you.
Is there anyone here? No.
Muhammad encouraged the freeing of slaves.
Okay. Did he free slaves himself?
Where's he running to? He says something and runs off.
Encouraged the freeing of slaves.
Are you coming with the proof? Are you coming with the proof?
Did he free?
Are you coming with the proof, bro?
Did he free slaves himself?
I'd like to see this.
Cain asked for a source. He asked for a source. When I gave him that source in the Quran, what did he do? He moved the goalposts. And what did he say? He said, "Oh, this was only because Muhammad was trying to get people into the religion." Well,
He was always changing his
you
mind.
asked for a source. I gave you a source.
You gave me
Now
one
you're
source,
giving
and
your
now
own
I've
subjective
refuted
opinion.
it
Now you
because
gave your
of the
own- no.
myriad of other sources,
That's your opinion.
including
That's your
up to
opinion.
modern
That's
day
your
times
opinion.
where
That's
black
your-
people are enslaved and
You asked for a
denigrated.
source. You asked for a source.
Right?
You asked
As
for
a
source.
part of Islam.
You asked for a
As a
source.
part of
You asked
Islam.
for a source. The Quran is the source. Once I give you that, you come up with another
Yeah, no,
excuse.
bro, you have given me and I've refuted it.
How? By your own subjective opinion.
All right, look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Are we still going point for point? Yeah. Let's not lose ourselves. Let's not lose. I was talking about the slavery.
Can we talk about the cursed sons of Ham?
He's going to come with hadiths about Muhammad.
Because what I was saying is, I just wanted to get to the point of okay, you're saying Muhammad had. You want to use the word servants, but is it allowed to use the word slaves? Is it abid? Did he have any abid?
You know what? I can't comment on that. I'm not going to comment on that. I can't comment.
did.
I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
Yeah, give evidence, please.
Come on, please. You said he did.
You've already
I want to know.
You've already quoted about him having two black slaves. How many others did he have?
Okay, those two black slaves that he saw.
How many others did
Let
he
me
have?
ask the question. Those two black servants that he saw, were they his? Yeah.
Of course
They
they
were
were.
working for him.
Okay, cool. Could they leave?
Even
One second. Let me ask
one of them,
you.
he told him to go.
Let me ask
He
you a
said,
question.
no, I want to work
Let me
for
ask you a
you.
question.
He gave him freedom.
Listen, he gave him freedom. So, what's the opposite of freedom? Bondage. So they were in bondage then.
One of them told
They
him
were
to
in
go.
bondage then.
Well, if they want to stay and work, where are they going to go?
Come on, brother. Come on, brother. This is
Doing
what I
him a
mean.
favour. He was doing him a favour.
This is
He's doing him a
this is what I'm
favour.
saying. You gotta be on it. You gotta be
By
on it.
raping their women,
If Muhammad has slaves, he has
subjugating
slaves.
their men. He was doing them a favour because they had nowhere else to go. They had nowhere else to
Yes,
go.
they were servants. But if he's going to put the word in slaves,
Could they leave?
that's
Hold
another
on.
thing.
Before wait, you said Muhammad gave them, gave one of them freedom. Yeah. That means that before Muhammad gave them the gift of sleep of freedom, they must have been in bondage. So you understand what I'm saying? So now let's not pretend like they weren't slaves then.
I'm not pretending.
If they couldn't just walk away and leave on their own without getting permission, then I would suggest they were slaves.
I haven't read about that.
What would you agree? Anyone agree?
I haven't read about
You
that.
ain't read about it.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna but
Has
I'm
anyone
answering you,
has
bro.
anyone read about this part?
They run away, bro. They run
No,
away.
we don't run away. We're still here.
I'm talking about you, bro.
We're still here.
Bro, you know I got love for you, man.
I
But
know,
this is the
me
truth
too,
I'm
bro.
talking. It's the truth I'm talking.
Yeah, and this is
Not
how you
against
do
you.
it. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
against you. It's against. It's against the cult. It's against the cult.
So,
We stayed here by
yo,
ourselves, or not?
what I want to know is, because sometimes I feel, remember he asked me over there, and he said, when he was asking about the hadiths, and you was asking people, how did you feel? This is how I felt, like this, like when I start looking for people to confirm something,
They're running away.
like there's no one around. And why is that? Because that's the truth. That maybe isn't in their favour. And then I don't like that.
But you see,
I don't like that. If he done the same, I'd be on the same
See when he
thing.
was talking about the Sinja, One second. Jedi, you know when he quoted Ibn Khaldun talking about raising heads and the Sinj?
Yeah, the Zanj, yeah.
There is another hadith talking about us, the Amazigh. They call us the barbarians because the way we speak our language, Amazigh language. There is not narrations, but the writers,
So the same kind of
yes,
writers.
about us, the Amazigh people.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's racist, though.
What's this?
And I bet you guys are quite dark in colour.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
The guy that wrote it, I bet he was much lighter than you. So then there's racism in his writings. So you kind of confirming what he's saying. You agree on that point?
listen,
then?
I disagree with how Islam came to North Africa in the first place. How they took our, Sabaya and like young kids, women, and the gold and the wealth, and they destroyed things.
Okay.
And the Berbers, they suffered through them. And the Berbers actually, they apostated 12 times because of the invasion of Islam, the way it came by the sword.
way it came,
Some
yeah,
people say, it came by the flood. They didn't come with flowers.
Yeah.
Maybe the Malaysians and
He's
the
agreeing with
Indonesians,
you.
do you understand?
On some points.
Okay.
He's agreeing with you.
In North Africa, it was totally different. But because the Berber tribes, we were living in tribes. Starts from Egypt.
Are you picking this up, bro?
All the way to
I'm not hearing the full argument here, but he's saying he's agreeing with me, but I didn't hear the full
I
argument.
agree with you.
He's
the way
agreeing
you
he's
say
agreeing
it,
about like he basically said that
the writers,
he didn't like the way that Islam came to North Africa.
Yes, at the end of the day, we
and he
What
thought
about
that
the
it
writings?
came by the
What
sword.
about the writings?
He agreed that some of the writers was racist, even against him,
Some writings-
even against his
yes.
tribe,
Even-
who were a
even-
darker
even
tribe.
against
Okay,
us.
modern day
against
slavery against black people in Sudanese. What about that?
Any slavery is wrong.
Bro, you had bare chance to have that conversation,
Brother,
bro.
listen to me.
You don't want to have that
I'm just
conversation now.
talking.
How old
What
is that
about
video?
the Islamic
How old is that video?
enslavement of black people
My
today
God.
in Egypt and Libya?
You guys are bad. Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with Islam.
Now you were there, now you're stepping off.
No.
You know that's content.
No. It's people. Okay,
It
I
is.
agree with you one thing, but when they say
don't
Islamic, no.
But it
We're
sounds
still
like
being
it sounds
enslaved
like me,
today.
though.
It's not Islamic.
When you have what happens
chaos.
is the Middle Eastern men call for black women and the Ghanaian women are preferred.
I can't take this shit, man.
Hold on, are preferred, right? What happens when the women turn up at the airport? Their passports are taken off them. They're immediately put into slavery, raped, tortured, beaten. You can go on the internet on the YouTube and you can see black women trying to jump out of windows from tall stories, trying to escape the enslavement.
Can I just say something?
Hold on, let me finish. My point.
I'm
My
gonna
point
say
is
something
this.
after you.
My
I'm gonna
point
say
is
something
this.
after
My
you.
point is this. Right. My point is this. These are Muslims asking for these slaves. These are Muslims asking for the best kinds of slaves.
Let me respond.
These are Muslims asking for the best kind of slaves.
Yeah.
Happen to be black.
Okay.
Now, if you could say to me, well, white people are enslaved as well. I can go on the internet and find white people jumping out of buildings as well. I can find white people raped and beaten and enslaved on camera as well. Then you have an argument. Then you have an argument. But when you have a cult and religion, a deen focused on denigrating, writing about and enslaving black people to the point that black people want to escape via any means, even suicide, we got to talk about it.
All right, cool. So let me respond.
We got to talk about
Let me
it.
respond now.
Why don't
Hold on 1 second, brother, please. Yo, King,
Tell them that.
with all due respect.
Tell them who banned Islam.
Just come from the side like that, man.
Yes, thank you.
just
Can I just say
come from
something?
the
Hear this now.
Blind
Hear this
side,
now.
no
Yo.
Come from the side like that,
Let's
man.
all get in the time machine. Yo, brother, please.
What has religion done to this world? Divide people.
Let's all get in the time machine, yeah? Let's go back 500 years. Yeah?
500.
Let's go back 500 years. Yeah?
For starters, yeah?
Let's go back 500 years in the time machine. Let's go to Africa. No, let's go to Jamaica. Let's go to Jamaica. To the sugar cane plantations. Yeah? What religion was being propagated when people were being transported across the Atlantic, across the Indian Sea?
Christianity.
Yeah? Christianity.
Yeah.
When people were being thrown overboard because the ships are too heavy,
Yeah.
chained up, what was being propagated?
Let me tell you this.
Wait.
Yeah, go on, let you
We're in
finish.
the time machine now.
Yeah.
It's that easy to turn around and say, yo, Christianity, is all about slavery. Why? Because there were some white Christians, or white supposed Christians, using their books and their Bibles and their stuff to put their feet on the necks of other humans. So now we go forward in time, back in time, whatever. We can have the same thing with the Quran.
No.
Why? What's different?
I'll tell you why. Now, you had a lot of slave masters misusing the Bible. When you go to, God help me, Thessalonians, I'm going to bring up.
As long as he doesn't
Why don't you let me speak?
Am I wrong?
When you let me speak.
As long as he doesn't die.
But let him get to it.
Right now,
He might talk about it.
Now you can.
He might talk about the Bible where it says, "Don't uprise against the slave master."
And if you do, he can beat you up.
And be kind to him. Go on. I know he's definitely going to speak about that because he's balanced.
Go, okay.
Now that verse,
religions,
that verse,
life,
those Jews' life. Right, let me explain to you.
This is lovely, man.
Let me explain to you what those verses of the Bible mean. Right. Now, like I said, if you go to Thessalonians, I'm going to bring the reference up for you right now. Slavery is not sanctioned in the Bible. The Bible says it is against good doctrine. It is against sound doctrine. Slavery is not propagated in the Bible. It is against sound doctrine. Now, let me take you back. Let me go take you back to the Old Testament. Are you listening? Let me go back to the Old Testament. The reason why people entered slavery was through choice, because they had no money, they had no way of supporting their family, so they would commit themselves. You can go to the Old Testament and check this. They would commit themselves to a period of 6 or 7 years. I'm not sure of the exact amount of time. This is it. To work, to receive board, money, and to pay for their family. Right?
The slavery in the Bible we're talking about.
Listen to what it means. Yeah, listen to what it means though. Listen to what it means. You have someone willingly giving himself over to service for a period of 7 years to someone with money that was affluent in order to support their family. Right? Now, at that time they might get to marry a woman or a daughter of the slave master, right? And there's all kinds of variations. When the 7 years were done, they were allowed to leave. Because it's a period of service.
What is that in the Bible?
Now, I've already told you, when you go to the New Testament, slavery is against sound doctrine. The reason why you have that verse, which is misused, I'm telling you now, was misused by a lot of racist people, so-called Christians, trying to subjugate black people by misusing verses from the Bible. Listen, let me explain what that verse actually means. It means that when you come to Christianity in the Roman times, Rome was subjugating people, and there were a lot of slaves of Romans. And so when Christ came and he said to people, listen.
Don't ride out on your slave masters.
Yeah.
Be nice to them. Don't ride out on them.
Hold on a minute.
That's not my book.
Just let me finish, and then you can make your own mind up. Let me make your own mind up.
Kill your slave masters. Kill them. Nat Turner. Kill them all.
Murder is not advocated.
Kill them all.
Now,
murk them, because it's advocated. When God wanted Abraham to sacrifice his child, murder was advocated.
Let me hear my point, bro. Hear my point. You spoke about.
Stop excusing slavery, both of you. Stop.
I am explaining to people, and so they can make up their own mind. They can make up their own mind about it. I'm telling you what the verse means in the Bible, right? And you can go and check this out for yourself, right?
I've decided.
You switched off, brother.
I'm definitely.
Because you made your mind up about that verse, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me at least explain what it means. Then you can still
Why
have
does
your
the
own mind.
Bible not explain?
No, let me explain. Right?
Why are you not explaining? Why didn't Jesus
Jesus said, and Paul
Why did he
said,
not explain
when you are in slavery, if you are subjugated by the Romans, Do not seek to be free.
He didn't say that.
Do not seek to be
He did not
free.
say that. He did not say that.
That's
Jesus
why the
didn't say
Bible talks
that.
about letting your light
Jesus did
so
not mention
shine,
Romans.
because you're supposed to just.
Don't lie,
You're
man.
supposed
Come
to just
on.
be
Don't lie,
comfortable
bro.
in the situation you're in.
All religious people lie
And
to prove their points.
vengeance belongs to the Lord.
All religious
That's
people
what
lie
the
to prove
Bible
their points.
teaches. Vengeance belongs to the
crazy.
Lord, because Christ is teaching us whatever situation
Don't
we're
wait for
in,
the Lord.
once
If
we
you're a
come
slave,
to Him,
run
we
away,
are
get
free. We are
Speak
set
alive.
free.
Stop
Right?
the slave master.
Now-
Make sure he stops moving. Don't wait for Jesus.
Now you do.
God helps those that help himself.
Now
Help
you
themselves.
do have slaves. If you're a Christian
say that.
and
True,
you're
innit?
if you're a
God helps
Christian
those that helps
and being
themselves.
subjugated by Romans,
Faith
it doesn't
without
mean
works is
you should let
fruitless.
the Roman beat you and rape you.
Yeah.
You still have your own mind to do what you should do. Right? Christians are not doormats back then or even
Well,
today.
the idea of
Right?
lying.
And
It
it was
doesn't say that in the
misused
Bible.
by
So
slave
you're lying. A man's
masters to
understanding yet again.
keep black people
These guys are doing
under
the
the
same thing on
cost.
this side.
Christianity
Oh,
does
Muhammad
not
had
advocate
slaves. Muhammad had
prejudice,
servants. They're
domination,
doing the same
or
thing.
any
It
kind of
doesn't say
rape
that.
and
It does not say
subjugation.
that.
It does not advocate it.
Bible and
It
Quran.
does not advocate it.
Okay.
Islam, however, advocates it. It advocates it. Even today, in literature in Islam, in the Quran.
No, show us in the Quran slavery.
In
929.
Show me. Let's talk about the Bible.
929.
See how you run to the Bible.
No. We can
See how
talk
you
about
run
the
to the
Quran.
Bible.
We can talk about the Quran.
See how you run to the Bible.
Show me where the slaves in the Bible, in the Quran. And then I'll talk to you about
I'm
the
not gonna
Bible.
lie.
Show me.
I think you're right. I think in
No,
this
no, no, no.
in this argument
Show
you're
me.
right. Listen. In this argument, I think you're right.
Don't worry.
Hey, if I want to.
I'm
You're
just
both
pointing
the
it out
same.
there.
You're both saying the same point.
I'm pointing it out there.
Can we all condemn slavery? Any kind of slavery?
At the end of the
Can we
day,
condemn slavery?
yes, but at the end of the
That's
day,
it. Can I-
there's going to be a lot of black people listening to this.
The Bible says you have
And
to
that's what
beat
I'm
your
talking
Through this
about.
camera,
with a rod.
in this country,
Don't follow any books
probably in
that tell
England,
you.
wherever they are,
Your slave has a
listen to
child.
this, who are
That child is a
Muslims,
slave.
who are
belongs to his
Muslims,
master.
and now realize the filth they're
People
in.
check it out.
Now realize the filth they're in. And that's all I'm doing this for black people to use their own mind and stop being tools of Islam. Stop being dawah mules of Islam.
Can I just sanctify
And
myself?
God
that I'm
bless
not
you
one of
all.
them?
There's one
God bless
Savior,
you.
His name is Jesus Christ. Come to Him. Come to Him. Because there's no color, black, no white, no slave, no free, no Jew, no Greek. He calls everybody, come as you are. Because He doesn't see the outward appearance, He sees the heart. He sees the heart. Islam sees the color.
Okay. Good point.
Islam sees the color.
Good point. Jesus. Please, man. Jesus. Good points. Good points. But listen.
God bless everybody.
Thank you. So now let's talk to humans. Now, yeah? Let's talk to humans. Like literally.
I'm going to wind it down now.
It's bound to understand. You're not done, innit?
Good.
You're not done, right?
I've done a lot.
You smashed it. Your kids, your mum, your grandma. If you lot are in a house where I am being locked down, yeah, and you're gonna stop me from getting free, you're all dead, yeah. And this is true freedom, yeah. All this religion thing, it's all good, but at the end of the day, we come back to the point of people are actually slaves. Is the black man, is the Arab man, is the Christian, is the Muslim gonna join forces and go and tackle this? Are we gonna keep arguing? Are we going to tackle slavery?
You know, you're coming from a point of agnosticism because you don't really believe. You believe in the Creator, but you're not sure if you're going to stand before Him.
You've done enough.
Are you going to stand before Him? Are you going to stand before Him, bro?
Cain, can I just say, yeah?
Are you going to stand before Him?
Let me talk, please, yeah? You've done enough.
But are you going to stand before Him? That's all I want to know.
You said you finished. You said you were
The
finished.
last point, I promise. Are you going to stand before Him? Are you going to stand before Him?
You've done enough.
You're going to stand before God. You're going to stand before God, brother.
Listen,
and when you stand before God, please.
let me finish.
Don't have no excuses.
Why are you blocking me, bro?
Don't have no excuses.
You're doing
Nobody
the
has
same
no
thing.
excuses.
You're doing what they're doing, bro. Alright, cool. You lot are doing the same things about each other. Listen, hear what I'm saying to you, yeah? Please, let's focus on people getting free. You can have your religions, yeah, but I hope that at the end of the day, when it comes to people being free, if you're really concerned about what's going on in Libya or any of these countries, Saudi Arabia, whatever, whether you're black, white, Chinese, Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, we should come together to destroy anybody that thinks it's alright, keep another human locked up as like a subhuman, like an animal.